And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Up first, tomorrow's fire danger forecast for spruce. Increasing extreme fire danger here in and around the Mid-Tanana Valley, Delta Junction areas, with high to very high fire danger south of the Brooks Range, north of the Alaska Range over the east side, with high fire danger now all the way down into northern Bristol Bay and expanding westward, some showing up now over the Yukon Delta. Otherwise, not too bad elsewhere down toward the North Gulf Coast. The Sitna Valley has an expanding area of high fire danger, as well as the Copper River Basin. And for satellite imagery, still swirl of low pressure here over the Northeast Pacific. Band of moisture right off the southeast coast. Some clouds up into the southeast interior. Heading westward here. Heavier clouds down here to the south with some thunderstorm activity rolling northwestward there along and east of the Panhandle, and then moisture traveling from west to east there, skirting the Arctic coast, with some of that spilling southward in toward the northwest coast, Kotzebue, Selawik Valley, western Brooks Range. Weakening front here right over St. Paul Island on down into the Alaska Peninsula, and low pressure holding out over the western Bering Sea. As you can see, nothing really moving much at all out in this area. High pressure holding over the interior as a result by the clearing skies here. And on today's chart, mostly clear skies, eastern Arctic coast, right on down into the eastern Bering Sea. Nunivak Island, St. Lawrence Island, mostly clear down into Bristol Bay. Some clouds spilling southeastward here into the northwest interior with some light precipitation along the western Arctic coast. Down to the northwest coast, western Brooks Range, but pretty light amounts there, as are light amounts here with this system over the Alaska Peninsula and Pribilof Islands. Otherwise, for tonight, this area of moisture coming northwestward actually starts to pull more westerly, increasing the shower chances for the eastern North Gulf Coast and eventually into the eastern Copper River Basin. Otherwise, the interior stays fair with light winds, mild overnight lows, mostly in the 50s, and a couple areas of light rain moving from west to east along the Arctic coast. This front, on its last legs here, still some light rain associated with it. But we'll see tomorrow really weakens, almost gone now, just some shower activity lost in all the low clouds, fog, and IFR flying conditions over the Bering Sea here, with that low still holding out over the southwest Bering with scattered showers. And moisture shifting eastward here, mainly over the eastern Arctic coast. A little bit unsettled on the west side there, but another sunny, hot day. Highs 85 to 90 over the eastern interior. Mid-80s in the central part of the state down into the Kuskokwim Valley. And cooler, of course, out toward the Arctic coast, but still mostly sunny here for the northern Bering Sea, right on down into Bristol Bay. Shower activity on the increase, thunderstorm activity, I should say, here for the eastern Alaska Range, Copper River Basin. Starting to pop up late tomorrow afternoon and evening over the Chugach possibly and Talkeetna Mountains. And dry for the most part, but morning or afternoon sunshine after morning low clouds for the Panhandle. And then on Tuesday, looks on the showery side for the northern southeast coast. Scattered, isolated showers down to the south. Partly to mostly sunny here, southern Alaska, with an isolated thunderstorm over the mountainous terrain late in the day. Dry and hot over the central and eastern interior up to the Brooks Range. Not much change out here over the Bering Sea. This system here staying to the south, and that low center not moving much out over the southwest Bering. And for the lows tonight, 50s over the interior, cooler, of course, for the North Slope and Arctic coast, 40s out in the Bering Sea and Aleutians, 50s, lower 60s for the Panhandle. Highs tomorrow, 65 to 72 for the southeast coast. As I mentioned, 85 to 90 over the eastern interior, mid-80s here down into the central part of the state with highs near 80 all the way down into the Kuskokwim Valley, or actually, I mean the Kuskokwim Delta. Highs in the mid-80s in the Kuskokwim Valley there. 74 for Nome, for example, 53 for the Pribilofs. And in the 70s, south central Alaska, 75 to 81 for the Copper River Basin. Lows in the 50s over much of the state. Brooks Range to the Arctic coast, upper 30s and 40s. Lower to mid-40s for the Bering Sea. Highs on Tuesday afternoon, not much change here. 85 to 90 again over the central and eastern interior. Mid-80s for McGrath and Nikolai. And Upper 70s and near 80 in the Susitna Valley, with a little cooler for the Kenai Peninsula there, 65 to 75 for the highs. 85 for the Copper River Basin at Copper Center, Golcana, Glen Ellen, and highs 50s and lower 60s with that cloudy, showery condition moving into the southeast coast.